Yo, what's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another 7 Innocents Grand Cross video for this be going over the news and talking about all the fun things happening for 7 Innocents Grand Cross. And this is a very early and unexpected news release that they put out on the Facebook page, which is, I'm just like, what? Okay, I guess it's happening. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, forgive me for the poor formatting and everything, but apparently, Final Boss Merlin is coming. Oh, damn, that costume is so waifu. Come again? What? Oh! And Red Escanor. Red Escanor is here, but let the cops are dead! Wow, that happened so fast. Wow, look at that. Red Escanor. In the teaser. They didn't even realize they released it, but Red Escanor is coming, baby! Oh yeah. Okay, they did know. They did know. They did know. The man who loves her.
私が7つの大罪傲慢の大罪ライオン神エスカノール様だゲームオーバー
Oh, they're coming on 7/7. Okay. So, yeah. Two things happening. Alrighty, guys. So let's go ahead and go over Big Daddy Red Escanor as a unit. So Red Escanor is going to have a first ability that's going to do a rank 1, which is going to be 180% attack and you can do amplify damage. If you know what the blue Lizhawk does already with amplify damage, it essentially will increase all damage dealt by 30% per buff on the hero. So if you have a buff, it will do increased damage by 30% per buff. And as you can see here, this is with an Escanor with UR gear with just one buff on and what you can expect against a red target. Right here, this is an Escanor inflicts damage equal to 150% attack damage against all enemies. The rank 2 of this ability is going to do 150% attack against all enemies and deplete one ultimate gauge per one ultimate gauge. It's very similar to Blue Lilia, exactly the same ability. The rank 3 of this ability, of course, is going to do inflict 250% attack against all enemies and deplete 3 ultimate gauge orbs. The ultimate ability for Escanor is just going to be raw damage, and the total damage value starts at 840% and goes up to 1,260%. The rank 2 of this ability is, the fate combination of this ability is going to be 960% at starting with the fate combination with Merlin, and it's going to do 960 all the way up to 1440. He's going to be the hardest hitting single target ultimate in the game that has no modifier. This is the strongest damage that you can get from one ultimate on any character if you have no modifier. Modifiers, of course, can increase damage and do different things. The passive ability for this Escanor is going to be increase HP related stats of the hero by 50% at the start of the battle when entering the battle. Now if we go over his HP related stats at the start of the battle, he currently has no extra recovery rate, no extra life steal, and it looks like no extra regeneration rate or at all. So he's really doesn't have any HP related stats at all in the first place, and this is the only place he actually gets them besides other cosmetics. So when he does get them, his regeneration rate is through the roof, and he does regen a very large amount of HP per turn, and that gives him a very large amount of health regen. If you notice your Escanor when you're fighting in PvP and you're noticing that he doesn't like regen a lot or he doesn't lifesteal a lot, well, that is very different for the Red Escanor for the first 3 turns. Now, of course, his pierce rate is very high. His high resistance rate, very strong unit overall. Very high HP pool, high damage, and high defense. His crit chance is pretty low at 20%, and of course, his crit damage is at 150%. Overall, he has very okay. He has good associations with Merlin and Gother, giving him either extra pierce rate or crit chance, both of which are good for this Escanor. So, Sekapoko, should I be pulling on Red Escanor? Is he a good unit? What's the deal there? Essentially, Red Escanor is a free-to-pick-upable unit in the coin shop at a later date. I don't know if he's going to be released on launch, obviously, as a coin shop unit. But what happened on the Japanese version is, I believe, after his release, he was eventually released to the coin shop. I don't remember when, but he was released to the coin shop, and then you could pick up duplicates for him as well. He, of course, does the same rotation, just like every other coin shop unit, just like Merlin, Gother, King, etc. And he just basically be the final coin shop unit for Sins. And after this point, then we're going to start seeing more of the commandment units get put into the game for coin shop dupes. So for Final Boss Merlin, I already have like a multiple teams guide as well as breakdown of each of the phases already built out for you guys here. Phase 1, as you can see here, has 354,000 HP, has the same skills as SSR Merlin for the green Merlin. It's the fodder on the side ability characters are going to have about 164,000 HP. And we can go through the fight here and I can go over some teams that I used to beat this. I also have free-to-play teams already built out for this. It's a pretty simple fight as far as the fights go. There aren't going to be too many things you're going to have to know about this fight, except that the fight is going to be, again, much different than the Japanese version. The reason it's going to, again, be much different, just like Final Boss King as well as Final Boss Gother were different, is because both Final Boss King and Gother had score-based mechanics versus the Final Boss Merlin on the Japanese version, which has not had a repeat yet, did not have a score-based version. So it's going to be very different from both of those, the version there, just like the King and the Merlin, the King and the Gother fight were. You can see the fight here. There's going to be a Merlin on this fight, and the team I'm using right here against it is going to be Hauser, SR Liz, as well as a red SR Jericho. And this is a free-to-play team that I use in order to beat this fight, in order to just give myself a little bit extra breathing room and do the damage to get this fight. Overall, the side minions do have two different abilities, and they kind of alternate between the two. You can see here on one turn they have a debuff-based skill over there, and then on the following turn, if we go into it, it like kind of ping-pongs between them. They're debuff immune, ultimate gauge +2, 10% when attack, when ultimate enemy is less than 5 ultimate gauge. Every dead ally is minus 40% defense, as well as 300% damage to blue and demon units. There's going to be negative 80% counter damage on this fight, so you won't be able to use any kind of counter-based mechanics like Meliodas on this fight. The second phase of this fight is, again, very, very different. In the first phase, you can see here that the boss is actually going to have about 1.77 million HP, and you can see this little debuff at the very top here. The debuff at the top on the screen here basically stacks up every single time there is a debuff. And what we did here is we actually were resetting because I just messed up or something like that, I don't remember. And you can see that now there's 2 debuff stacks on the boss, and that will actually lower the boss's HP by 40% per dead ally. So the strategy in this fight is basically you, instead of attacking the boss and then hitting every unit, is actually more so you just have to hit the side characters. And it's not so much a you have to hit every single unit on the field fight, more of a you have to make sure you kill the allies so that you will be able to do better. You don't have to do that. You can, on the first phase, focus the main boss, and there might be a lot of different strategies. There might be better strategies coming out, etc. And you might have to do a completely alternate strategy as well. And this was a free-to-play team that I used as well. As far as other teams go, people were using Red Escanor, Arthur, and Gother, as you can see here. We tried a Red Bon as well as Arthur and Gother team, which was not as effective but did work out. There was a Arthur Red, what's it called? Red Gil Thunder, as well as I think it was a Twig backline, and there was. We tried a bunch of different teams. The last one we tried was a Gother, Arthur, and Helbram team. And the Helbram team is to like roll back ultimates as well as do damage. So that team was cool too. There was a lot of different variants of teams that you could use, but I don't know which team is going to be the best team for this fight, because again, as we've seen from the final bosses, they are very, very different than they were on the Japanese version, and they're going to be, of course, different units being used. Since Escanor is going to be released on this fight, my assumption is that you're going to have to roll back ultimate gauge in order to get extra points, and you may actually get extra boosted points from using a rupture-based ability. Red Escanor was a unit that I'm pretty sure Red Escanor you could use in this fight. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think it was around the same time. I have to look it up. thing we'll go over is the final boss Merlin cosmetics. The cosmetic, as you can see here, gives 1% crit resistance as well as 6% crit defense. The weapon cosmetic for this is this little crystal thing here, which gives 2% pierce rate as well as 2% crit chance. And down here on the last one, which is going to be this little wing digit here on the side, is going to be a 4% recovery rate, 1% regeneration rate, and 1% lifesteal. Overall, all the cosmetics are free to play. You are cosmetics to pick up from Merlin, so of course pick them up for free to play. Alright guys, well, my name's Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like and subscribe, all the fun stuff, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.